Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Get yourself comfortable and prepare for some interesting stories. One of them is a story about OP's auntie who is suing OP for money OP got after selling an art of Aunt's kid's favorite character. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Oh my god, I cannot believe this just happened. I'm going to post the conversation below. I hate my life, oh my god. This text exchange that I copied and pasted right here from my text, I'm 17, and EC is 19, both female. Me. Post a picture of my drawing on Instagram, then automatically gets reported for fraud. The following exchange happens. Entitled Cousin, EC. Are you freaking serious? Me. What? You know that I also draw, and so do thousands of other people, EC. EC. You can only paint. I'm the only person in the family that can draw animated or digital. Me. What? Okay, listen, this is getting stupid. You got what you wanted, and I deleted my TikTok. Now you're going to attack me because of the fact that I also draw? Easy. I'm going to tell my mom because she doesn't think you should be an artist either. My mom says that I am the only artist in the family. I'm going to tell my mom. Me. You are 19? Entitled aunt then text me. EA. Payton, this is EA. This is really getting out of hand. EC is really upset. I won't tell your parents as long as you agree not to sell that drawing. You're going to ruin EC's chances of becoming an artist. Please just take that into consideration. She is older than you. Therefore, she chose to be an artist before you did. You'll always have to be in second place. I'm sorry. That's just how social conduct works. Me. Alright, EA? What's sad is, I know EC actually had to have her mom text me because she doesn't know what half of those words mean. Well, this has been a nice conversation. I shall be telling my parents about this interaction. Then it went quiet for a bit. Then I got this last text that I was not expecting. EA, Payton, you cannot sell your art of animated characters because that's what EC does. How dare you draw Stitch? You cannot make drawings of EC favorite Disney character and sell it because if you sell it, you'll have to give the money to EC. You do not have the right to take business away from my child because she deserves it more than you. Me. EA, I made a poster. I can sell it if I want to. And no, I do not have to give money to your daughter. I shall be selling the drawing for $20-ish, and you won't see a cent. Please leave me alone. I will be telling my parents about this. EA, I will sue you because that money belongs to my child, not you because you stole her art. I stopped responding with that heck. The entitlement is real. God help me. Just a FYI, I don't actually plan on selling this art. If you DM, I will offer you something else because of Disney's rights. Update. I told my cousin about the fact that so many people wanted to buy it. She freaked out. I just got this message. Did you sell it? Because you owe me the money from it. You are so spoiled. You did not deserve to have the money. You cannot even draw. God, you're such a pain because you have absolutely no right to take that money away from me. She blocked me. Take screenshots of both conversations and keep them somewhere secure just in case they do something stupid. Like, actually sue you. Also, let your parents know what is going on. Hopefully, they are sane and will support you. You might also consider reporting them for harassment on the site they reported you on. Well, a while ago, someone here commented on the idea that my parents should sell a bunch of my brother's stuff. So I talked to my parents about how they could probably recoup some of their losses from the birthday rampage by selling a lot of my brother's stuff. I was surprised by how readily they agreed it was a good idea. It was like a light bulb moment for them. Then, over the weekend, they had a big garage sale. They sold my brother's bike, his video game systems, everything. I went to help out with the sale and could hear my brother crying in his room. All of the video game systems he had were sold. And there was a lot of them. He had a GameCube, a Wii, a 3DS, a Switch, PS2, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and a ton of games for them all. And they sold all of them. I was pretty tempted to buy something from the sale myself, But I knew if my brother were to be made aware that I had something he used to own, who knows what he might do, so I held back. The bike alone went for $30. They also sold his TV, his RC cars, his drone, and pretty much anything else electronic he owned. They are in the process of selling his gaming PC online now as well. There's a cheap laptop too, but it was mainly used for school, and he was denied access to it for anything else. My parents told me that my brother's room had been stripped of everything but the essentials. While I was visiting during the sale, my brother walked out of his room once, saw me, and then ran back into his room crying loudly. I know fake crying from him when I hear it, and it was as fake as it gets. My parents knew this too, and have not fallen for his game. I asked them if he was going to be sent to therapy, and they said they really have no choice but to do that, and they fully admitted this was their fault for enabling him for so long. I could have rubbed it in their faces, but I think the look they saw on my face was enough that they understood. For the past several years, they've been in progressively worse and worse denial about their bad parenting. Friends and family have been telling them for a long time now that they went way too far spoiling my brother, and that it would not only come back on them one day, but it also might mean that my brother may be incapable of functioning as an adult. If that's the case, he'd expect someone to provide for his every need forever, and I was not to become his caretaker when they became too old. My brother hadn't shown much improvement over the next few weeks. He was still being a brat, fake crying, getting into more trouble, and he even stole another kid's cell phone at school. He was caught playing on it in the closet, and my parents had to return it to the school to find out who it belonged to. Last week I had an idea and suggested a family intervention. My parents were hesitant when I brought it up, but they reluctantly agreed to it. I'm sure they were reluctant because an intervention would put them on the spot along with my brother. Then, on the next possible day, all close family and some friends would gather at my parents' house. We formed a circle of chairs in the living room, initially without my brother in the room. My aunt spoke first, and oh boy did she let them have it. She'd written an entire speech that we all silently listened to. My parents tried to interject from time to time, but were silenced. When it came to my turn to speak, I also read a speech I composed, basically repeating everything I've told on here thus far, and plenty more. My grandparents went next, and it was just sort of followed on down the line from there. My mother was in tears, and my father just told her. They both apologized to me heavily, and said they were terrible parents, and that they ruined my childhood. I'll never get that back. My aunt loudly stated that it should not have come to this for them to realize their own hypocrisy, and from now on they needed to do better, not only for my sake, but especially for the sake of my brother, so he can grow up normal. My brother was brought into the room next, and he was seated away from my parents because my mother would have an urge to coddle him when he was upset. It didn't take long for the family to lay into my brother. He tried fighting us a lot, but when excuses like if only they just let me have my way were about all he could say, we all let him have it about how that's not how the world works. He tried getting help from our mother, but she refused to look at him. He started huffing and acting like he was hyperventilating, then intentionally fell to the floor. It's not the first time he's done this. My aunt just told him to stop milking it and get up. He screamed at her that we were all ruining his life, and he wishes we were all dead. My parents were horrified. My brother refused to get up off the floor and kept breathing heavily to pretend to have some sort of attack, so everyone just left him laying there for a while. They each said their piece about why they were there to him. He screamed at random a few times, but didn't move from where he'd lay down. Eventually everyone started leaving, and my parents had to actually drag my brother back to his room because he refused to get up off the floor. He's not used to people having no sympathy for him, especially from our parents. This is going to be a long uphill battle. My aunt has offered to chip in for therapy. My parents have taken her up on it. Let's hope therapy does my brother some good. It's great your family had this intervention, and I'm amazed it had any effect on your brother at all. His reaction gives me hope, and you're the absolute hero in this story. It's going to be 10 times harder to undo brother's raising than it would have been to do it as right as possible from the start, and he knows every trick in the universe to get around mom and dad. They will have to be a united front and will need a lot of help. Professional. I wish them the best. My parents divorced when I was 7 and my mom abused me and my sister pretty regularly. I can remember a few examples where when I was 8 she thought I lost her car keys while at her friend's house and started beating me and kicked me in the genitals while I was covering up on the ground. Her friend scooped me up and locked me in her room, and then I went to live with my grandmother for a week. Another memory is when I was a child I suffered from night terrors. I started screaming from a dream. She came in and started smashing my head off with a pillow. I used to get the croup severely, and one night in the fall when it was obvious I was getting a bad case, she went out drinking. The babysitter had to call her at the bar, and she had to take me to the hospital. My stepdad walked in and out of our lives for a while, but stayed when I was around 13 years old. He kept my mom grounded, and was less likely she would do any of these things when he was in the picture. When he was diagnosed with cancer around 2005, she started to spin out again. She started drinking and her behavior became more erratic. After he passed, she got into a drunk driving accident. When me and my sister found out, we went to the hospital. She was handcuffed to the bed and blamed me for the accident scene. I wouldn't come back and pick her up. She never called. And I also worked a shift that started at 3:30 a.m. Since all of this time, I have tried to maintain a relationship at a distance, seeing her occasionally despite her going on Facebook and posting how terrible me and my sister are. Last May, I tried to take her out and eat. I was going to tell her that I caught my spouse cheating on me and we are no longer together. She went in to tell me someone was sick and dying who I didn't know, and I asked her to stop. She got upset. That was the last time I saw her. She texted me recently and told me she has breast cancer. She needs me to take her to the hospital for surgery. I don't think I can do it. Is she all alone this holiday season? Some toxic people have been known to claim they have health problems in order to force contact. It happens so often this time of year that it's known as Christmas cancer. Even if she does happen to be telling the truth, she's still the same person you went NC with. Spare yourself the drama she will inevitably cause you. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. And if you missed the last episode on this channel, I'm going to link it right here. The story's about an OP who is in an emergency room with his 3-year-old daughter and a crazy woman who made a crap show. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.